Yes, boys, welcome back to another video. Been a while, obviously. Today I wanted to discuss the massive issue with FC24, and I know the F1 car in the back is slanted and whatever. It's literally just happened, and I'm not fixing it just right now because I can't bother. But obviously, there is no secret. In the last couple of days, there's been a massive talking points and issues by EFC24, and the game and between content creators and a bit of drama, some would say, and I think it's the first lot of drama we've had around FC24 in a while. And if that's a good thing or if it's a bad thing, I don't know. However, it all started last Friday, where Nick Run the Foot Market put out this tweet, which I'll put onto the screen right now. Basically, put out this tweet about wanting to do some sort of there you go on the screen right now. Wanting to do some sort of protest boycott type thing against EA and FC24 to try and hurt them from whatever. So if you want to read the tweet, I've read it a couple of times already, and whatever, I'm not going to read it out. But basically, he just asks, puts the feelers out for some sort of boycott where a lot of mainly big content creators don't really play FC24 and kind of just ignore from it. And he basically goes at the bottom and says his chess piece is ready, basically meaning he's ready to do it, but he wants to see it, if his move is going to have an impact first, which definitely caught the eyes of some people, and I've just messed my camera up there, but it definitely caught the eyes of some people, a lot of massive content creators, and some of them I think took it the wrong way. It's easy to see from a casual game. I'm not a casual gamer, but it's easy to see from somebody who's not in an influencer's position to see that he meant good intentions by this. And I'm a massive fan of Nick. I have been since probably FIFA 18. And I've watched his rant videos for years. They're pretty much one of the main sources of FIFA content that I do still watch. Because where I've outgrown the whole pack opening type videos, or maybe it's just because the game has changed, because you can't really do pack opens anymore to a good standard, if that makes sense. To the same standards that Rota Shaw or Chris MD may have done back in the day. So I don't think that's really possible anymore. And we'll get into that later. I've got some issues written down, but so basically put that tweet out, and a couple of content creators I think started to rip into Nick for no reason. I don't want to name any. I'm not a big content creator, but I don't want to name and shame people because people know who they are. And if you're watching, you'll probably know who they are that did it. But yeah, we'll get into that. So my first issue is just FC24 as a whole. It just feels so unfinished, and from menu glitches to gameplay glitches to card glitches, it's in how many mistakes and the gravity of those mistakes we've had this year is absolutely mental, and not something you would expect from a product that would cost, or that did cost, about £60 to £70 and maybe up to $100, and wherever maybe at €80, €90, depending on where you are in the world. And the fact it's now May. We're now at the end of this game, where we're getting to the end of the cycle where things don't really matter anymore in terms of cards, and it's kind of just, we're getting to the point where it's a free-for-all type thing, where when we get towards the end of the Premier League season, which ends on Sunday, and we get towards the Euros, people are going to stop playing the game as much, and the people that do carry on it are going to start getting these 99 rated cars, 98 rated 97s and stuff like that. So we're pretty much at the end of the game cycle in terms of from a build your club up standpoint, because now starts to come the time where we normally get 40s. Well, not right now, but we're coming towards that point where there's the Liga Tots tonight, Italian Tots, Ultimate Tots, and then we'll probably after that, in maybe 3 weeks time, we'll start to look at 40s. So we are getting towards that point. And it's sad to see that the menu bugs, when you search for a player and the menus glitch out after 3 times, or when menus just stop working, they haven't been fixed in the best part of 7 months, 7 to 8 months this game has been out for, and it is genuinely mental that they haven't even bothered to fix it. I think they've tried to say a couple times that they fixed it, or they were going to, and it just never happened. But you know, the gameplay this year isn't very fun. My whole thing used to be with FIFA that I still enjoyed the game because I use the players that I want to use. I've never ever felt forced to play certain players because of a meta, or even to certainly play a meta. I still get 14 wins. My highest this year is 17. I bought the game for 18, whatever. Yeah, so I can still play to a high standard, and I believe people as a whole can play to a high standard without using the meta players like your traditional Ferland Mendy's, your Mbappe's, your looking back at all the Asian Neymars, your Ronaldo's, these meta players that everyone felt when they had them, or when they were able to get them, they had to use them. Kimpembe one as well. I've used them obviously at times because I've packed them, and it's like, well, if I've packed them and they're meant to be good, I'm not just going to sit there and not use them because they're meant to be ratty in terms of whatever. But I'm not going to put my team on the screen right now, but at the moment in my team I've got future star Lauren Hempel still in there. I've got Khadija Shaw from City's women's team still in there. You know, I've got Team of Season Alvarez, who isn't necessarily meta, but he's in there. This is the thing, I've always tried to play my football, or the football that I want to play. I'd never really want to wing bash. Of course, I've got meta players on my team, like I've got Van Dijk because I packed him untradeable, and it's like, again, if he's not bad, if he's good, I'm not going to stop using him. Same with, I got Doku in Reds on live Team of Season, whatever it was called, and he's in there because obviously, if you watched the channel at the start of EFC, you would have known I started Doku to glory because I love Jeremy Doku, and I'm a City fan of it. I'm a City fan as well. So getting that card, I was obviously there like, well, I'm going to use him, aren't I? It makes sense. Yeah, so the gameplay this year is felt more restrictive. I have definitely felt like there has been a need this year to use meta players with certain play styles, like, you know, aerial or this kind of stuff. You know what I mean? And it's felt like players that were effective in previous years aren't really effective. Like at the start of the year, we had a flashback Kevin De Bruyne, which I instantly completed. Again, I'm a City fan, of course I'm going to do stuff like that. And he didn't feel as effective. Like his playstyle's like incisive pass. On paper, it sounds very good, but when you try to use it, it's not that good. Let's be honest. I'd rather a lot more. I've always said that since Hypermotion came in, your players feel like they are the players that we see. Like Ronaldo runs in his style, Mbappe feels like Mbappe, Foden feels like Foden, this type of thing. But this year, it's felt like it strayed a little bit away from that, in my opinion, anyway. I don't know how everyone else feels. The gameplay definitely feels a lot more defensive this year, and this has been the issue since we've been on new gen consoles. And it seems like this is an issue that is gonna take a while for EA to fix, if they do try to fix it, which I don't think they're currently trying to do. There just seems to be this auto drop back type thing in the game, which some people play like rats. I've played some people in Weekend League that I literally just don't want to play because they just wing bash, you know, sit back and just so boring, and you have to break them down. It's just boring because this is the thing. A lot of teams play like that in real life. As a City fan, I see it all the time when people come to the Arsenal, for example, came to the Etihad, sat 11 men behind the ball and just tried to defend. In real life, fair enough, because you've got 90 minutes to break them down. In a game that's meant to be arcadey and fun, you know, you want to be able to score silly goals, if that makes sense, and you want to feel like your players like Odegaard, like Foden, like Bellingham and Vinicius Jr. are on steroids because of how good they are at dribbling, like they are in real life. Mbappe as well. But it just doesn't feel like that is the case anymore. I think this is probably some of the best dribbling we've had in like the last 2 years since it's probably 21. Because last year I didn't think the dribbling was good at all. And dribbling is something that I like left stick dribbling is something that I love to use. It's the main reason I do love cards like Doku, like Foden, Odegaard, those type of cards that have amazing dribbling. And it just feels like this year it's just got more and more restrictive, and I don't know why, because this is the thing, we have the biggest player pool to choose from we've ever had, because obviously now we've got women's players in the game, and a lot of them are good, by the way. I think the women's game in Ultimate Team was a good addition, and it made a lot of sense. So yeah, I mean, my next point is the gameplay for the past couple of years. Again, like I said, it's definitely got more restrictive over the last couple of years, where since new gen's coming, it definitely feels like it's a lot more defensive and you know, harder to break people down, which again in a 90-minute game in real life makes more sense. But in a what's meant to be 6-minute halves, obviously it's a bit longer than that because you got goals and stuff like that. Yeah, it was meant to be a 6 minutes half, so technically a 12-minute game, but we'll say 15 minutes just for like a reference. You can't really do that because you're just going to get these low-scoring games. There's been some games in this in FC24 that I've scored maybe 6-7 goals and I've won like 7-6 or something in extra time. Like, those games are fun to play. Because I would genuinely much rather me go and score, my opponent go and score. It'd be like a basketball type game, if you want to call it that, rather than me sitting there and having to pass around this guy while he just defends with an inch of his life, and it's just boring to play because he doesn't attack and he just defends and he ends up winning the game because of a stupid penalty or a stupid glitchy goal. Yeah, so the gameplay for the past couple of years has gotten worse. I'm probably in the unpopular percentage that actually enjoyed FIFA 19 because it was hated rather universally by everybody, by a lot of people and a lot of content creators. But I actually kind of enjoyed it, to be honest. The finesse shots were a bit stupid, but again, it's virtual football. It's kind of some people want a football simulator. Some people want like an arcade game of football. I'm kind of the guy that's in the middle. I want it to make sense, if that makes sense logically in a football sense, but you know, I don't want to just be sat there breaking people down for 90 minutes because it's boring. So yeah, it definitely feels like since 21, it's taken a massive nosedive, and it's just getting a lot worse to the point where it's either it has to improve, or it's just going to get to the point where no one plays the game. Number 3 is obviously probably the biggest burden when someone talks about FC24 is the packs, and I'm actually going to talk about the pack animations as well, because I think they have think the newer pack animations have an impact, or have had an impact on the way packs are going and the way it's seen as gambling for people. But anyway, so obviously there's no secret that there's been 750k packs this year, and I've opened a couple, never got anything good, so there you go. I said all you need to know. The best pack pull I've had this year came out of I'm gonna say Champs Rewards, I think, and it was Road to the Final Gvardiol when he first came out. And it's weird that I pack all these City players, by the way, but it was a mill when he came out. I packed him pretty much within the first couple of days when he came out, sold him, whatever. Yeah, so these packs, they're untradeable for start. Part of me can see why they're untradeable, because it would impact the market a lot if you could go and open this pack that gives you 2 Winter Wildcard icons or 2 Premier League Team of the Season, then you go pack Haaland and De Bruyne, or Haaland and Salah, you know, and you've just made about 20 mil almost off that one pack. So I can see why they are untradeable. Do I think they should be untradeable? No, I don't. But this is because I don't think they should even be in the game. I literally remember the days where people were excited and pretty much mauling themselves over the fact we had a 125k pack. That used to be the ultimate. It's called the ultimate pack, but that used to be the ultimate pack and the best pack you could get in the game, and I think it should be that way. Not including things like betas, because I've played betas where you get like massive like 56 player packs where like whatever, that's different. But it's hard. But I genuinely think we should go back to a place where we have the 125k pack as the best pack in the game, because I don't think these 200k packs, or even these stupid little 27k packs, or like these silly little pack like the 30k pack, I don't think they should. the 30k pack should always be the mega pack, and the 55k pack should be a rare mega pack, and it should be how it always should be. Because I don't like the idea of packs where you are guaranteed team of the seasons, because people, it just plays obviously more into the hands of buying your way to success or whatever. Because FIFA's been pay to win for a while. It's felt where like people, like for example, my gold Aubameyang in FIFA 19 is not as good as somebody's Ronaldo or someone's Messi. It's obvious, but pay to win has always been an element in FIFA. But I feel like it wasn't as bad as it is now. But yeah, and the pack animation is something that I want to talk about, because the old pack animation I used to love, where it used to be, we had FIFA from FIFA 20 to maybe FIFA 21, those 2 years, where it was a tunnel. I love those pack animation. I think that should be the pack animation. Obviously you've got like the old like FIFA 16, FIFA 15 ones, where it looks like a little animation above the card. Like you open the pack comes into like a little thing and like a little animation, and the player comes, and then literally you see the player. There's no walk, no balls or nothing. Obviously we then have FIFA 18 and FIFA 19, where it was like the boards came off the pack and it lighted up at the side, or a FIFA 19 it was like the EA logo at the bottom lighted up, and then boards would come out, and that's like 83 plus and all that stuff. Obviously FIFA 17, where if it was a walk at it would pause. I do think that should be an element in a pack animation. I think that was probably one of the best we've ever had, apart from the tunnels. But the reason I think they've gone so quick, like I remember, I think it was FIFA 22 or FIFA 23, where it was like you pressed it and you saw the card instantly. It's like that now, almost to a degree, but it's to make it. It's a form. It's a thing. It's the thing I see with gambling. Even though I'm not somebody that I'm not legally old enough to gamble, but as somebody who like knows about it, and like slots and the online games, like online casinos that you can play, and how quickly you can lose your money, it just seems that is what EA are trying to do. Almost like a slot thing where you press your 8 to open a pack, and in 3 seconds you know you haven't got anything, so you go and open another one because you want the rush of seeing the team this season, like you've seen on Nep's video or Bateson's or Two Sinks or like whatever. So you want that rush of seeing a team of the season, where like the tunnel dragged it out, so it kind of felt like opening packs was a massive grind. So it kind of, I feel like for me definitely maybe want to open less, if that makes sense. You could say it anyway. This is the thing. Anything is addictive, and I'm not going to go into the whole thing of is it ethical or whatever, because obviously it's not. It's not a conversation that needs to be had with the gambling side of FIFA. It's not a conversation that needs to be had at all. Because everyone knows the answer. It's unethical and it's stupid and it shouldn't be a thing, but it's going to be a thing. And if it's a direction that FIFA want to go in, or EA want to go in with these massive packs, do it, but make sure the game is good and make sure the game is grindable, so people don't feel forced to go and do these packs to get something good because the rewards we get aren't good enough. Like milestones. Why am I playing 90 games for a TIFO? You know, I remember this at the end of the game last year where they were giving about 400 or 500k packs. Do that. Literally 300k packs for Elite Division, 2 for Div 1, Div 2, and then 1 for Div 3 and Div 4, and then like 50k packs for everybody else, and just make it massive so people want to play your game. Because at the moment people don't want to play the game. This is why a lot of people are playing clubs, because this is the thing, EA don't care about clubs and they never will, because it's not the place where they use all these licenses to grab you in, because this is why people don't play pairs, and this is I think the issue that we're going to face with UFL and goals and possibly a 2K FIFA game. They're not going to have licenses, so it's not going to pull you in. This is going to be the issue, because people want these players because it's Neymar and he plays for PSG, not Paris SG. Like, you know what I mean? Like, next year Inter aren't in the game. Inter fans might go towards PES or eFootball because they want their players and they want everything that is for them. So while EA have this monopoly over the licenses, Ultimate Team is still always going to grip you in because they've got City, United, Madrid, Barca, these kind of clubs. They've got all of these kind of clubs. They've got the Champions League. They've got the Premier League. All this licensing for all these different things grips you in, and this is why, again, eFootball doesn't really get that much as it probably should do, because as a game it's not that bad. And again, this is probably the issue we're going to face with Goals, because I'm pretty sure Goals is a one where it's made by Kurt and it's just like random people, random names and random players, whereas UFL have got some licenses, I think, for West Ham and some teams like that. But yeah, and then my last issue is with some content creators. And again, I'm not going to name anybody. I'm just going to give it as a whole issue because I think it is a whole issue. I literally every video that Nick on the Foot Market has put out about this issue, I've watched his live streams because I've been a fan of him for years. And I'm a fan of the way he speaks out, the same way Nick speaks out in Nick 28Z. These guys have always been outspoken in terms of ranting about the game, and they definitely have not got a lot of probably respect in the community from everybody else because of how outspoken they are about the game. But it's the issues that people like me, people that come home from work, come home from college, and people that come home from uni, and want to play FIFA. It's the issues that we all agree with, but none of us have the platform to say anything. And this is why I'm making this video, because I'm making this video from a point of view of somebody who doesn't have a platform and is just a fan of this game and has played this game since he was a little child. My first FIFA, I think, was FIFA 09, FIFA 10. I was 3 years old when I first played against my brother on FIFA, and ever since then I've loved FIFA and I've played it all the time. I would love nothing more than to try and build something through TikTok, and I have before when I've enjoyed the game. Early parts of FC24, I enjoyed it, so I'm making 3 or 4 TikToks a day, streaming for about 4 hours a day, apart from some days. And making Dockers to glory, and I was genuinely enjoying it. And it's now getting to the point, and it got to the point very quickly where I didn't enjoy it because the game isn't good. The game isn't grindable. The game isn't good for a typical football fan. It's just not in the same way FM is or whatever, right? So the issue I have with some content creators, again, it's probably quite easy to know who I'm talking about here, but the biggest content creators that are affiliated with EA. Look at Matt HD Gamer. He left the Creator Network program because he didn't like what they were doing and they weren't listening to his feedback, and they were telling him to take down videos of when he was criticising the game. Right, that is a big enough red flag to people to go, this company do not care about us. And I genuinely think if the people that attended, look at Pieface, he has attended EA events before, and I genuinely watch his streams all the time, and his videos all the time, and he slates the game so much, and he slates EA so much. I probably doesn't go to many events anymore that are properly, and he goes to some, which is mental, how outspoken he's about the game at times, and he still goes to some of these events. There are some pretty big content creators that probably aren't willing to join this movement. I personally have given Ozio some stick in the past. I'm going to name him purely because of this reason. But I've given him some stick because I don't watch his streams, because normally when he streams when the Foot Market is on, and I've always been the biggest fan of him, or Tusing used to stream, or Ginge will stream Girth and stuff. When I watched Ginge back in FIFA 23 when he used to stream Champs. I've been watching Ginge for the best part of a year and a bit. Nick coming in 2 years. So yeah. Anyway. Yeah. I used to not like Ozio because I didn't think he spoke about these issues, and I thought he shied away from it purely because he's connected to EA in some way. But then he released a video that I actually watched, because sometimes I do watch his YouTube channel, and I actually apologise for shitting on him a little bit about him not speaking about issues, because clearly he does. He just does it on his Twitch streams, which I don't watch. It was probably narrow-minded of me to make a comment like I did on Twitter. Yeah, whatever. If he sees this, he won't, but if he does, my bad. I apologise. And I actually do hope somebody with a platform sees this and sees it from an account and a perspective of somebody that is young and it doesn't have a platform to try and change anything. This is just the issues that I have as a very small content creator who probably wanted to be a content creator, and because of this game doesn't really want to anymore. I'll still do the odd stream and stuff because a part of me enjoys it when I'm actually playing, but for the most part, I don't know if it's what I want to do anymore. So yeah, obviously there's massive content creators not getting involved, and there was one where he turned around and said that he's got a family to feed. Of course he does, but this content creator puts on about 4 million FIFA points. That's all I'm gonna say. That's all I'm gonna say, because it makes no sense. It makes no sense. If you're saying you've got mouths to feed and you don't want to boycott EA, this is no longer what Nick is asking for. He's just saying, do not spend FC points and hurt them in the bollocks financially, because that will be where it gets them, and I agree with this. Don't load on FIFA points. Don't. Just work on getting better at the game and being able to earn more coins that way. Problem solved. You don't need to put on 300,000 FIFA points. You need to put on 1 million FIFA points. One of the biggest streamers that did this, Castro, doesn't play anymore because of how bad the game is. Castro wasn't my cup of tea at all, because I don't like watching these streamers that put lots of money on the game and then act happy when they get a good player, because it makes sense. If you spend a lot of money, you're probably going to get somebody good. That makes sense. And it's why I'd much rather watch someone like Nick, who will trade his way up, or the FIFA analyst Alex B, who is good at the game and gets his team through that way. Sometimes I would watch 2Sync because they are just two very set. It's a completely different type of channel to anybody who's on YouTube, because they're really funny people. You watch it for the banter, and they put this money on, but they both know that they aren't very good at the game, and it's just funny watching them play, and it's good to watch them play because they're not putting on an act, they are just being who they are, which is the most part what I like. Nep does all these things with Evos. He's got his Arsenal account where he's got an 11 of Arsenal players, which is something I wanted to do at the start of the year, and I kind of, because I didn't play, I missed out on a lot of City cards. Which is slightly annoying, but hey ho. Yeah, and there was some content creators, instead of hitting the issue head on or trying to give Nick constructive criticism, just said that it was fitting his brand of moaning. And this is the thing. Everybody who plays FC, FIFA, whatever you want to call it, wants the same thing. We all want a better game. We all want. This is the thing, right? Ginger said it before. He doesn't play champs anymore, and a part of him probably wishes he did, because it's all a part of us, and it's all a part of our childhood, early adulthood, whatever you want to say, right? So all of us want the same thing. Why can't we just come to an issue? This is what I think is starting to happen. We're starting to come to a conclusion about what issues we can tackle and how we can do it. And this is the thing. I don't think some of these massive content creators that have said these things against Nick Nep and Nick 2018 and people like this are going to get on board simply because they don't like them as people. And that's not the thing. I watched a 2-hour conversation between Nick Nep and Nick 2018 where all three of them disagreed on points, but the thing is they just moved on with their points purely because they all want the same thing. We all want a better game. And this is the thing. Half of the things we are asking for from EA aren't hard to do because they've been in the game before. Monthly rewards have been in the game before. Some sort of daily knockout tournament mode has been in the game before. The old version of Division Rivals. This is just for me what I want personally. I want the old version of Division Rivals where you're in a division and you play games to compete for points, because this is the thing. You play 4 or 7 games, whatever it is, to get your wins, and you're done. Nothing keeps you playing the game. I remember when I think it would have been year 8, year 9 in secondary school settings, in secondary school terms, sorry, when FIFA 19 was out, right? And there'd be times where you would stay up so late on a Wednesday because you wanted to get your rewards on a Thursday, and then you'd be in probably class at school and you'd open your rewards and try and get something good. This is the thing, right? This is what I enjoyed. I think Rivals should go back to the old Rivals as a concept isn't bad. I think we need to go back to the squad battle type thing that the squad battles is now, where we have rank 5 to 1, like it was, or rank 6, or whatever it was. And you compete for points to finish in the top rank, and it makes it a lot more competitive, and it definitely puts more of a skill gap in the divisions, because what you'll find is a lot of people who aren't that good at their game being in Division 2 and Division 1, which never would have happened, whatever. I am happy enough to say, when Rivals was like this, I think it might have been in FIFA 20 as well when it was like this, I was in Division 1 anyway, so whatever, or Division 2 mostly, but Division 1 at times, and I probably got battered a lot of the time. Again, I've been in Elite Division as well, and it's not fun to play, because again, all you think in your head is 7 games, 7 games, 7 games, and you never probably try as hard as you probably would do if you know, okay, I'm competing for points here. And the thing is, right, you used to get what I'm pretty sure you used to get points for certain things you did in the game. Say you lost a game 5-4, you still get a decent amount of points because you scored 4 goals and you broke the defense down 4 times. Whereas if you lose, you lose. Streak is gone. If you draw, streak is gone, and you've still got 7 more games to win. Football isn't just about the winning, if that makes sense. People can draw games or people can lose games and still have positives to take away from the game, and that's what I feel like that old Division Rivals gave you, because when you earn points because you've still done well in a game that you've lost, probably a lot of times just because they're a better player, you can still take positives and you can still be happy and not feel like you've just wasted 15 to 20 minutes of your time. So I think the old Division Rivals will work a lot better. I think some sort of monthly rewards in Champ to coincide with the Champs rewards we get now, combine them together would make sense. Because whilst I agree and disagree at the same time with the fact that Champs picks should be good, this is the thing, in like Division 1, in like Rank 1, yeah, they should be good. When you finish in like Rank 1, Rank 2, Rank 3, they should probably be very good. But when you're hitting like 11 wins or 9 wins, you shouldn't really. Obviously, you have a roll of the dice, an Mbappe or a Messi or a Ronaldo or a Haaland or whatever. But like, you shouldn't be getting them. If that makes sense, because you finished lower. So you should get a player that's more on your level, or maybe just a bit above your level. So say if you finish on 11 wins and you're a typical maybe Div 4 player, Div 3 player, right? Obviously you should have a shot at Haaland, and some people will get Haaland, and that's good, because those people that get Haaland or De Bruyne or Salah will be obviously extremely happy, and like, I'm not saying that players where they finish should be limited to certain cards, because you should still get a roll of the dice at these big cards, but people in like Rank 1 deserve like the Mbappe and the Haalands and that kind of stuff. So maybe a player that would suit that more as a higher odds, if that makes sense, would be, for example, this team this season, maybe like a Saka or a Palmer. It's not one of the 15 mil cards or one of the cards that are dead premium, dead expensive, but it's still a good card, and it's still worth a nice bit of money. Or a Saliba, I mean, if that makes sense. Because out of my eyes, I got Gabriel and Watkins. Neither of those improve my team, so then it just feels like you've wasted your time. So obviously, if you finish it in like, if you finish with like 6 wins, then you probably should be almost, or you will be guaranteed almost not that good of a card, but it's still someone that could improve your team. Whereas if you finish, say, between 9 or 11 wins, you should be pretty much, you should have a higher chance of getting Saliba or Palmer or somebody that's going to improve your team properly. And if you finish, probably going to say from maybe 14 to 16, you should have a better chance at the mid-high range cards, like maybe like a Salah. And if you finish rank 1, you should have probably rank 1, rank 2, you should have the best chance at a Haaland, because you finish in the top spot, you played amazing football or FIFA, whatever, you should be guaranteed, not guaranteed, but you should be able to have a shot at a massive player, which, there you go. Monthly rewards, you used to get 1 icon and 44 reds of people that have been team of the week. So when it was team of the season, these packs went off. I never got any because back then I didn't really play 40 games in a weekend, whatever. Also, I think Champs should go back to 30 games. Right now, at the moment, it's from Friday at 8 o'clock after the Champs gets launched, and it goes until like Wednesday morning. I think you should go back to 30 games, even if it's from Friday to Tuesday morning. It should be 30 games still, because I don't think 20 games is enough games to properly determine where you are. 40 was probably a bit too much, but I think 30 was probably the sweet spot. Yeah, a lot of things we're asking for, like good gameplay we've had in FIFA 17 and FIFA 18, and there's aspects of games that say 19, like the dribbling in 19, that we want back, and it shouldn't be that hard to do that, if that makes sense. But yeah, I've waffled on for probably about half an hour now, so I'm probably going to end it here. Hopefully, somebody big, like an influencer-wise, sees this and can give their opinion on it, either in the comments or in my Twitter DMs or whatever. I don't mind. But I would love somebody to see this and be able to look at it from somebody who isn't in an influence position standpoint, and we can all, well, not all, or they can all work towards a solution where we hurt EA in the pockets, and then we can hopefully get a better game. So that's been all for me today. I might be back with some FIFA content or some FIFA streams, because I'm playing it a lot more now. Because I'm enjoying it, not because I feel forced. But yeah, in a bit.